Okay, so we're going to look at how we combined the random variables, the discrete random variable rules on Friday, and how we can apply that to normal random variables here. So let's see here for this. Doink. All right, so let's take a look at this first problem here. Too bad we're not in class and Art can't volunteer to get points to read, so I will read for you. Before bed, you always brush your teeth and check out the latest videos online. The amount of time you spend brushing your teeth is normally distributed within of 2. Checking out videos is normally distributed with a mean of 75 minutes. Excuse me. What are the mean and standard deviation for the distribution of total time spent before bed? What's the probability you'll get to bed in less than 90 minutes? Okay, so what I can do is combine these variables into this new distribution that I'm going to call T for total time. And seven. So our center for this distribution that's total time is 77. To make the standard deviation, and then when we do that, we find shocking numerical impact on a standard deviation of 10. So when you work this out, it's really approximately 10. Okay, so each standard deviation on this distribution is 10 minutes away. So here's 87, 97, and we care about the probability to get to bed in less than 90 minutes. So 90 is approximately here, and I want less than, so I'm looking at the area to the left. So I'm going to 0.3, right? 13 divided by 10, yeah. Okay, so that means that this score, or this minutes of 90, is 1.3 standard deviations above, because remember z-score is number of STDs, and I want to find the area to the left. So that means I'm going to with, and if I work that out with a lower bound of negative infinity and an upper bound of 1.3, then I get a probability of 90.3%. Probability that z is less than 1.3 is about 90.3%. So nothing too crazy here. We're just looking at applying those rules of combining as well as with z-scores to then find these new probabilities. All right, let's take a look at this one. Suppose the number of hours of sleep you get per school night is normally distributed with a mean of 6, standard deviation of 1.2. What's the probability you will get at least 32 hours of sleep in a school week? So Sunday night, Monday night, so on and so forth. And so this distribution is going to be for the week. So if the mean of one night is 6, then the mean for the week is going to be 6, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be 5 times 6, which is 30. So nothing alarming there. If you get an average of 6 per night, then in 5 nights, you get an average of 30. Multiply 1.2 by 6. But we're not stretching our data here by a factor of 6. We're actually combining multiple days. And when we're combining multiple days, that means we're going to need, again, to do variance. So when I work that out, I get a standard deviation of 2.94 for my total hours of sleep in the week. So the probability I'm going to get 32 hours of at least 32 hours. So if my standard deviation is 2.94, then that means right here at this one standard deviation is 32.94. So clearly 32 is just a little to the left of that. I want at least 32 hours, so let's go to the right. All right, so again, z-score is z equals 32 minus 30 over 2.4. Z, I should have made some more room here, huh? All right, so 2 divided by 2.94 tells me we're at 0.68 standard deviations away, which makes sense because we know it's a little less than 1 standard deviation. And I want to find the area to the right of that. So the probability that z is greater than 0.68, wait a minute, we're using z, but it's means. Why in the world are we using z and not t? Oh yeah, that's right. We know the population standard deviation, and that wasn't actually a alarm. Okay. So 0.68, 1E99, and we get a probability of about 0.248 or 24.8%. So again, pretty straightforward, nothing crazy. There are two differences here happening though. So I did these two problems intentionally. The first one, you're looking at combining two different things, right? So teeth brushing and video watching. And in the second problem, you're looking at combining the same thing over and over again. And so or all right, so this next part says don't get suckered. Probabilities from populations versus probabilities from sampling distribution. So what we have here are two problems where they basically have the same population information, but one of them is going to be a probability from a population, and one of them is going to be a probability from a sampling distribution. And we've done both of these before, but we haven't really talked about differentiating between the two. So if I consider this problem here, the national average cost for a female haircut is $65 with a standard deviation of 28. Okay, so it says for men, oh yeah, what's the probability that women pay $20 more than men? So when I'm asking this question, I'm actually done the question before. I am considering the difference. So really what I want is a distribution of the differences, where this is, let's call it D, which is women minus men. And so I can use my rules for combining variables. 24. So on average, women pay $24 more than men. Which means the likelihood that we're going to pay $20 more is probably going to be pretty high. And I get squared plus 11 squared oops, is 30. Big standard deviation. So just to the right of 24, one standard deviation is going to be 54, and to the left is going to be -6. So just one standard deviation to the left, and men are paying more than women. Shocking. Okay, so if I want to find the probability that women pay $20 more, I'm actually really just looking at like barely less than halfway, right? So if I find that -4 divided by 30 is -0.13. So this is just a teeny bit to the left of the mean. So you know what? I'm just going to say, hey, the probability of that is about 50%. Okay, so let's consider this next problem and how it's different. It says the national average cost for female haircut is 65. So same information, right? But then it says in a sample of 50 women and 50 men, what's the probability that on average women pay $20 more than males? And the tricky thing here is that then when I take samples of 50 and find an average, my variability is going to go down significantly. So while the standard deviation for this distribution was 30, the standard deviation for this distribution is going to be much smaller. So this is now the sampling distribution of D for samples of size 50. So we're taking 50 women, we're asking them what they paid, and then we're finding an average, and then we plot it. And then we take 50, and then we find an average, and then we plot it. And we do the same for dudes. And then we subtract all of those. So that's what's happening there. So this problem we've actually done before. We did this kind of a problem in chapter 10, which was everyone's favorite chapter, our highest scoring chapter test, I believe. Okay, so what I need to consider variable. But now, this formula from chapter 10, so 28 squared over 50 plus 11 squared over 50. Okay. So the key here is to understand the difference, which, you know, is not like terribly difficult. But what will happen on, like, say, the AP exam is you'll have different kinds of problems and we'll have to know when to apply what. And so anytime they're going to give you a sample size, then that's kind of like, I need to have some sort of formula with n. Okay, so my standard deviation has gone way down. It's only 4.25, whereas before it was 30, because when I take those averages with my samples of 50, then I kind of get rid of those extremes. Okay, so now when I consider that women pay $20 more than males, I'm almost at one standard deviation below, because one standard deviation below is 4.25, so 20 is maybe like here. Okay, so V is 20 minus 24 over now 4.25. So -4 divided by 4.25, and I get -0.94. So almost one standard deviation. So the area to the right there, so the probability that Z is greater than -0.94 is probably close to, let's see, 50 plus 34, so 84, using my 689599.7 rule. All right, so -0.94. Oh, look at that, it's 0.826. Okay, so there's an 82.6% chance. Much higher probability in this case because we have decreased the variability so significantly. Okay, so those are the different kinds of problems that you will run across. You're going to work in your groups